Okay, good morning to my calisthenics team. Barry Holmes here, personal trainer. So I'm going to go through some of the fundamentals for the bird pose and the head handstand that we've been doing this morning, and that we're going to continue to do over the next few weeks until we kind of master the basics. These drills are not that hard, okay, it's just a case of just being a little bit patient with it and trying to master the technique. Once the technique is there, it's not that much strength that you need to do the basic versions of these moves. Obviously, some of the advanced variations are a lot more challenging and require a lot more strength, and that's going to take a lot more time to develop. But these two basic moves, the bird pose and the head handstand, are not that difficult. And quite a few of you are mastering it this morning, so hopefully within a few weeks we'll be there on that and we can move on. Alright, so I'm not going to do warm-up, but you know the dance with the warm-up. Make sure you get everything limbered up properly, get the wrists going, get the shoulders going, and spend a good 5 to 10 minutes warming up. You all know how to do that. Make sure you do warm up though, because remember, we're putting a lot of stress on our body and we don't want to be injuring ourselves. So the first move we're going to look at is the bird pose. Alright, so all I've got is a little mat here because it's going to help me out, and I'll show you from the front and I'll show you from the side. So the bird pose, you've got to screw your hands in to the floor, okay? Really grip the floor for me. And then you want the knees pressing on the triceps. And then all you do is just lean forwards, lean forwards, lean forwards, and then you're just going to naturally come up, okay, like so. Made it look quite easy, but as the vast majority of you are realising when we've been doing it, it's not actually that easy. So we're going to break it down into different stages. And we're also going to use our head to help us, okay, take off a little bit of that weight and make the exercise easier. The longer our body feels that tension and that stress, the more adaptation we're going to get. But after about 30 seconds to 60 seconds, we're probably not going to need to do it for any longer than that, because it's not going to really have any added benefits to us. That's we're going for the world record for the bird pose. Alright, so once you can master this drill, and once you can do and hold them for about 30 seconds, it's time to move on and do some more of the progressions. Right, okay, so let's have a look at the bird pose in a little bit more detail. So hands are flat, I'm gripping the floor, my knees come in and I wedge them forwards. As soon as I want to lean forwards, I'm up. Alright, now some people can't do that, that's not a problem. You can just hold it in this position where your feet stay on the floor and you're just leaning forward, you're almost coming off the ground. You can lift one leg up and hold it and then swap legs. That's one variation. Or the little trick of the trade here is to use a mat and use your head to offset your weight. So again, it takes a little bit of confidence. Lean forwards, rest your head. As soon as my head touches the floor, I can get my feet off. Then from that position then, you can try and lift yourself up and roll back. Okay, sometimes you can just push with your head. So give yourself a little push and come back. Lean forwards, push, come back. Okay? So that's the bird pose with some of those variations. Now if you want to take that to the next level, and get your body used to taking on more load, so that we can go from headstand to handstand, alright, which is somewhere in the future. You can take one knee off. Alright, so on this one, what we get now is we're still in that bird pose, like so. Now we take one leg off like this. Okay, and I can take that leg out, I can bring it back in, I can put it back on. Now that's quite hard to do that. It's quite challenging. It puts a lot of tension on you. So if you can't hold the normal bird pose for 30 seconds or more, there's no point trying to do that one. Certainly not trying to take the leg out, because you're just going to collapse and we're not going to get anywhere. So on this one again, it's one of them. You can just trek the knee off and just drop to the floor. So watch. So we're here. Lean forwards, I want to come up, I'm up, I lift the knee off and then it just drops down to the floor. That's absolutely fine. Okay, that's probably what's going to happen initially anyway. So what you can do is you can do that, 5 on one side, 5 on the other side, and eventually the more we practice it, the more the body gets used to the movement, the stronger those muscles become, the more enduring they become. Before you know it, you're holding it, you're taking your leg out, and again, it's a step-by-step process, calisthenics. So once I can hold that knee out for 30 seconds, I'm going to start taking my leg out. Once I can hold my leg out for 30 seconds, I'm going to start taking the other leg off. Okay, I'm making it harder and harder. So that is the bird pose, all right? Practice that one. Don't practice it every day, okay? You're not going to get anywhere practicing something as intense as that day after day after day. A couple of times a week on top of what we're doing on a Sunday morning will be absolutely fine. Let's move on then to the headstand. The headstand is easier than the bird pose. It's just getting the transition. Once you've got that transition, all right, you're up. You're not going anywhere else apart from vertical. All right, so let me just show it you in one smooth movement. So we're here, rest my head, lift my knees up, and I'm straight up. Right, so can pivot my hands round. I'm in that position. Once I'm here, piece of cake, there's no loading, I can do all kinds of things, take my legs out, I can bring my legs down here, I can bring them back up, it's easy peasy. Yeah, I can bring my knees in, I can bring them down to here and hold, and then I can bring them back up again, it's a little bit harder. Yeah, and then obviously I can just put my legs back on my knees. Alright, so again we break this down into stages. And we can have 3, 4, 5 stages. You can make as many stages as you want. All right, the first stage is back in the bird pose, and it's just getting your feet off the ground. Getting your head flat on the floor. The flatter your head is on that floor, the more stable your body position is going to be, and the easier it is going to be to then flip up. There's a small degree, okay, of movement. The angle is quite short, about 30 degrees. Once you get past that 30 degrees, you're up. It's just getting past that 30 degrees from 0 to 30, that's the hardest part. Let me just show you, breaking it down in a few stages. Okay, so you're here, all right, I'm up, stage 1 there, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, stage 5. All right. So to practice this one, you can hold it in different positions. And then you've got that hard bit from the lift to the flip and then to the vertical handstand. All right, so you can break it down. And here, like this. Yeah, I can just lift up. Sorry, resting my head. I can just lift up here, and lift up here, and hold. Yeah. And then I can just try and lift my legs up, and if they just drop down, they just drop down. Relax for a minute, and keep practicing that. Okay, and then eventually, as soon as you get the ability to lift, and then move up, so from there to about here, once you get to that point, and you can make that transition, it's so easy. So that simpler is the bird pose and the head handstand. Practice it, take your time. We're going to practice it over the next few weeks and we'll master this in no time. It's a piece of cake. It's nothing too difficult yet, except that some of the progressions, like moving from that into a handstand, is extremely difficult. But you know, let's get these fundamental ones in the bank first. All right, enjoy this one, and I'll see you next week.